obviously another high major game. Shauna, what do you see from Oregon State on film?
You know, they're big, number one. They're 6'7", 6'5", 6'1", 6'1", point guards like 5'10". So that is going to be obviously create some challenges, just the size. And they run a ton of stuff. They're similar to us. Like, they run a ton of action. So we're not going to be able to prepare for every little thing they do. We got to really stick to our principles. But this is a team, even though they may not have the wins this year, this is a team and a program and a culture and a coach that's used to winning and winning at a high level. So we got to be ready to go. We got to really lock into our defense, and we got to be really solid with box outs and all the little things just because of their size across the board.
I imagine too, it's probably tough for them to schedule some games with how far out they are and the change. You know, what kind of went into the scheduling of getting this together for a home and home?
Yeah, we've talked to them for, they had needed a game the previous year and we couldn't make it work. And then, just because of just the success they've had in their program, we thought it'd be a good game for us, and they were willing to come here. We really wanted another high level home game. And this was, scheduled over almost a year ago. So we wanted that, and then also, we got to go back there. So I thought it would be good next year because we also have to go to Oregon next year. So I thought it'd be good to kind of see early on in the year what that trip would be like as a little prep for Big Ten play.
Is this a game where you need to get into your Phoenix stuff just because, I imagine they're going to make an emphasis on getting back, but you're going to try to make it a track meet a little bit.
Yes, because that's one thing with their size. They are a little bit slower getting back, so I have made that a big emphasis is obviously in order to get into Phoenix and get into transition, we got to get stops, we got to get clean rebounds, but you're exactly right. Pace is something we talk about all the time, but we've really talked about the last couple of days for these guys.
How's Jen doing since leaving the game on Monday?
Yeah, she was able to practice the last couple days, and I don't know if she's 100%, but I tell these guys, you're really never 100% after maybe your first day as a freshman. You feel good. There's gonna be something on your body every day, and shoot, you guys know that doesn't change whether you're 40 years old or whether you're 20-some. So she's feeling good, but hopefully we'll tape it up. And a good thing about a game is adrenaline takes over too.
This season so far for Kendall has been Kendall being Kendall, or is she even taking it up another notch?
I really think she's even taken up another notch. I think her scoring, I've always believed and had said since the day I got here she should be a double-double kid, and I think she can score, 15 plus a game. I really think she's capable of that, and she's being really aggressive, and the shots she's open, she's taking those, and you can see even now from 15, 17 foot range, if you're not guarding her, she's going to shoot that. So I love that aggressiveness about her, and she's playing at a high level, and we're going to continue to need that.
So I missed it, but I know Barry had like a doctor's appointment at one point. Like, how'd that go? And is there any timeline on what that could look like with her?
Yeah, whenever that was, when it was last Friday, it was 3 weeks from then. Okay. So we're almost a week in, so a couple more weeks if she progresses well, which she is right now.
That has to be a breath of fresh air. I mean, seeing her in that didn't look great.
No, and it could have been longer. So yeah, that's the best of the worst case scenarios.
Regardless of whether, you have opponents to prepare for throughout the season, but throughout this 4 games stretch, what do you like about what you're seeing just internally about your club right now?
I like the consistency. I think that's something that we struggled with last year. I think defensive consistency is something I've been really proud of. We've come out no matter who it is, no matter what the opponent does, what their strengths are, big, small, fast, slower, pace, whatever it is. We've been able to really hang our hat on our defense and our rebounding, and that's something that, again, is a staple of our program and what we always want to be able to hang our hat on, and I think we've been really consistent with that. And that's then led to us to be able to play a little bit faster, but definitely the consistency in our defense.
Given what you guys are doing on that side with the rebounding and defense, what can this look like when the shots start to fall at a clip that maybe we've seen them fall at in the past?
Yeah, I think we're the last couple of games we've shot it better, but yeah, I think that's the upside we can still, because we're not a finished product. I mean, it's still November, it's still early, we still got to get into a flow. You still see. We're in and out some of practices with some of the things we've dealt with injury-wise. So I just think that, that's a work in progress. But if our defense is where it's at right now, that's what I'm more concerned about. But the shots are going to fall. We got a lot of open shots the other day, and we were hitting them. So I think that'll just consistently just continue to evolve and get a little bit smoother.
You know, the defensive piece that Dahlia brings, what have you maybe seen from her offensive game kind of growing and becoming such more of an efficient player?
Yeah, I mean, she's finishing at a high level right now, right? And the first 2 years I was here, I felt like she got to the rim, but, you know, the finishes maybe weren't as consistent. So she's finishing at a high level. She's getting to the free throw line a lot more. She's able to hit her pull-up jump shot is very efficient. She's hit 1 3. She hits threes in practice, so I know that that's going to translate into games. So I just think that offensively she's a lot more versatile. She's improved her skill set a lot, and she's a lot more confident because of the work she's put in on her ball handling, on her finishing, on her three-point shot, on her mid-range. They all go hand in hand. So she's playing it with a ton of confidence right now.
Do you, in your mind, slot Jazz and Gretchen as both a 1 and a 2 out there on the floor, just in what's needed? If someone's injured or just sub-patterns?
You know, I had put Jazz at that 1. She was playing a lot of 1, and actually the last couple of days we've even moved Gretchen over there and put her into some of that just because of what kind of we've dealt with Jen and Makaira in and out. So Gretchen was a point guard in high school, so it's really pretty comfortable for her. It's just more the matter of knowing the plays and knowing all of that, and she's done a great job. We have a long list of plays that we can run with Gretchen at the point too. So maybe something that you see tomorrow night that you haven't seen all year is Gretch playing a little point guard.
God knows you dealt with it last year, but how has your practice plan over the last month just gone to hell? Because you've had only like 9 players to be able to avail. I know you got your practice guys, but you can't really scrimmage all that much.
Yeah, you know, this is the thing, and I talked to our team actually about it today. We may shorten stuff. We may put, you know, it may time from 5 minutes, maybe it's 2 minutes now. You know, maybe it's an hour and 45, maybe it's an hour and a half or an hour 20 now. But the thing that we cannot change and will not change is how hard we go, how physical, and we got to play and practice like we play. We can't, there's not a flip. We can't just say, okay, we're gonna go late in practice because, you know, we only have 8 or 9 kids, but I expect you to play really, really hard in the game. That just doesn't happen, and I don't coach like that. We can't play like that. So when we're out there, it may only be an hour and 15, and everything may be bumped down a little bit, but we're going to get after and we're going to compete and we're going to work because that's how the expectation of game day. So I think that's the biggest change. And then like even the last couple of days, I've just had to throw a couple of our guys in to get the second reps with our team because we don't have 5 and then 5. Usually I go first group and then second group. Second group now has kind of a couple of our guys on there, and if I can throw a wig on them and get them to go out there and play, we'll have 10, but that's not going to happen. So,
I mean, obviously you would prefer to be healthy, right? But what can this mean for big picture, that these valuable minutes early in the season?
Yeah, you know, I really am trying to take it from that approach and look at the positive if there is, because it's the only way you can do it. You can sit here and bang your head against the wall because you're so frustrated with injuries, but you can't do anything about them. It's out of your control. You know, it is what it is. It's part of sport. So we try to look at it like, okay, this is another opportunity for someone else to play more. This is another opportunity for, you know, maybe put someone else in a different position. It expands their game overall. It's gonna make us better in the long run because you don't know what happens. Gretchen now getting some point guard minutes may help us win a game in January, February if Makaira or Jen are in foul trouble or if one of them are banged up. So, you know, and Jazz being able to play point, that's going to help us later on too. So I just think that that's the way we're approaching it. You know, Corey bumping over to play 4. It's part of athletics. You got to figure it out, and no one's going to feel sorry for you. No one's just going to say, "Oh, the game's canceled because, you know, Jen sprained her ankle." No one cares. So we just got to say, next man up. How are we going to get better from this? How are we going to go out there and still do what we do?
What's maybe impressed you just about Gretchen's adaptability of different roles, like you referenced, and just different aspects of coming off the bench versus starting, different things like that?
You know, Gretchen is just so even keel anyways, and so just like, what do I need to do? Like, she's never too high, never too low, and I think that's actually what makes her really, really good too. And you know, we never had even thought about or needed to put her at the point because we've been okay with that. Well, you know, in the last few days, we decided that we need to get her some reps. She's like, that's fine. She listed off a whole line of plays of what she knows from the point. And I'm like, that's really impressive for someone that this was never even something we really talked about or needed. And now she needs to do that. Coach, I know these plays, I'm good. There's just no there's no worry, there's no nothing. She's like, let's do this. And I've also been really proud and happy with Jazz in that too. Jazz, you know, we need you to play point, and this has started, you know, months ago. We had her doing that, and she's taken it on. She's done it at a really high level. I think it speaks just a lot about them as basketball players and their basketball IQ, and then also as people. They're team players. It's not about them. It's about us. It's about what do we need to do at any given day for us to be in a position to win games.
For the game tomorrow, when I talked with Coach Brooke last night, he was saying that he was looking forward to all 5 matchups on the court, not one specifically. Do you agree, or are you looking forward to like a challenging matchup or anything like that?
I mean, I think every game, you know, it is. It's all about all 5 people, all 10 people out there, and there's a lot of, you know, opportunities for different matchups. You know, again, do they go big? How much do they go small? Those are some things, because if their initial starting group, you know, is usually 6'5" and 6'7", you know, when we go small, are they going to stay big? Are they going to go? So there's a lot of interesting things that, you know, is going to be kind of a chess match, and how do they respond to us? How do we respond to them? So I think there'll be a lot of good little storylines in there with matchups in regards to that.